What's up, guys? Level here. Today, we're going to be doing a Siege X Aura tier list for the Defender operators. Now, there will be a part 2 to this video, which will be the attackers. This video is the defenders. If you want to see the attacking video, make sure you subscribe so you see it in your subscription feed. I believe it is in alphabetical order. We got all the ops. I think there's 37. We're going to start off with Alibi. So, Alibi has a pretty cool beret. All right, that's a good start. We like cool hats, okay? Accessories are key. She also, her gadget is literally just Shadow Clone Jutsu. So, that's pretty sick. We're just going to give her in the B tier. I think she would be higher if Ubisoft made it so that when you throw the gadget, it like matches your actual appearance. Because if you change your skins on Alibi, it doesn't match the Alibi clone because it's just the default skin and default gun. So she could be higher, but Ubisoft doesn't really like that. So next up is Aruni. Okay, Aruni has a cyborg arm that breaks shit. Okay, she's really effective at making holes. She's got a pretty good face card. And she puts lasers up, which is pretty sick. We're also going to give her a B tier. Okay. We've got Azami. Azami wears suits. She throws fucking throwing knives. Kunai, right? She's an intelligent scientist. And her last name is Fujiwara. Okay? If you know what that means, you know. We're just going to move her up to the A tier because that's pretty solid. Alright, next up is Bandit. Bandit is kind of a badass. No, I think he's kind of a badass. Because actually, when I play with him, I usually use the Iron Sight. I stopped doing this, but like I used to use the Iron Sight on the MP7, which I thought was cool. And then also, like, he brings literal car batteries into, like, I'm just going to say wars. It's not really that drastic, but I'm going to say war zones. He brings car batteries into the war zone, which is fucking badass. I don't know where he keeps them, okay? Because I don't think he has a bag on him, and he's got 4 car batteries on him. So I don't know where they come from, but that's probably deserving of a B+. Okay, next up is Castle. Now, I wish Castle was cooler, right? But I think I'm just going to put him in the C+ tier. And my reasoning is that he comes off, like, super hard, alright? Like, he comes off as hard as shit, dude, like, you know. And he's even got the nickname Papa Bear, right? But beyond that, I'm not convinced that he really has anything that affects his aura level, especially since he's about to lose his ACOG most likely in the next update. So, you know, he just, like, basically he just places, like, a bulletproof panel and, like, I don't know. Maybe he played football. Ooh. You know what I mean? Alright, you get C+, relax. Okay, Caveira. Caveira visually looks like an A, but the player base is so bad at playing her that I think she loses all her aura because she's on your team, she's going to sell the round. She's on the enemy team, she's either going to sell the round or she's going to like win the round, and it's like super annoying. I think I'm just going to give her C+. Because like I don't think there's really much going on there other than like, okay, she's got a suppressed weapon. Her primary sucks. Like, she walks around silent footsteps. Like, I think anyone can really walk around silent footsteps if you just, you know, shift walk or alt walk, whatever your keybind is. So, I don't think she's that special. The interrogation is cool, I guess. But, yeah, C+. So, We've got Clash. All right. Now, most people would think Clash is like super lame. Okay. But they did give her hair this update. I imagine if she had a do-rag, she'd have some sick waves. All right. And basically, she walks around with a transparent shield. Okay. It's like, see-through, clear. And, she just stands there while getting shot at behind the shield. And, it's not like a Montaigne shield, where if you're getting shot like in the gut, like you can't see the bullets. Nah, she stands in a see-through shield. Like that's got to be pretty scary to just stand there and tough that out while bullets are coming right at you. I'm gonna have to say, I think Clash has dark aura, and even to some extent, like now that we have this new category, I might even put Cav in there, because like while I don't think Cav has a lot going on, she she kind of Cav is quite menacing, I would say, right? So she's menacing for like your team because you don't know if she's gonna sell the round. She's also menacing for the other team because like I guess people that aren't really capable of like turning around and holding the flank are super scared of a Cav, but they're not scared enough to turn around and hold the flank. They're just gonna freak out and like stand still, and then Cav will like win the round. So I might even say that she has more dark aura than Clash, but it's okay. So next up is Doc. All right, Doc has insane aura, man. Look at him put on those gloves. All right, he's putting on gloves, and he's got his little dart gun, his little stim gun. It's pretty cool. Now, I have an all red Doc fit, and it goes hard as shit. I want to put Doc in the S tier, but I feel like when you look at Doc in your locker, he never really raises his eyes. Okay, he's always like looking down. I feel like he's suffering from a severe lack of sleep, and that's definitely minus aura. Like that's if you're suffering from lack of sleep, you can't be an S tier. So I'm gonna give him A tier. Okay, Echo. This guy, Echo's hair is always fucked up. Okay, he's and like, dude, his hair's fucked up, and he just like goes prone under a desk, uses his iPad like a fucking weirdo, and I do think it's pretty cool. Like he can drive his little yokai drone around and just fucking blast people in the face, to concuss them, and it's probably like pretty irritating getting hit by that concussive blast. So I'm just gonna put him in the C tier. I don't think you'd think he'd have aura for like using the drones, but like he's not actually he's not actually like physically present in most of the things that are happening. It's usually just the drone. So the drone might have more aura than him. Okay, so Ela's next. Ela's a little boring, I'm not gonna lie. Um I feel like now they have so many operators that like Ela's not as cool as she once was. She still has her handgun with the red dot sight on it, but I don't even think that's unique anymore because there's Warden, there's Clash, there might even be another one. So like she's not even one of the only people with a sidearm that has a red dot. And like I would like Ela more if like her lore was right. She's Polish, right? So like let's say her dad was in the Polish military police or something, and like for whatever reason they had this new terrorist group, and her dad needed to invent some type of new gadget to deal with these terrorists. Okay, so Ela at this point in time would be in high school, and like she was one of those people that would chew gum, and then when they were done chewing gum, they would place it under the desk, right? So like in that moment, she had an epiphany for her dad that she needed to create a mine that is like sticky because it's like putting the gum under the desk. if that was her lore, she would be pretty cool. However, that's not her lore. I wish it was because that would be a wildly creative way to think of a weapon. So I think Ela just goes in D tier, which is depressing, but it is what it is. Okay, Fenrir is a little fucking weirdo. He definitely has like some dark aura to him, but I can't exactly point out how. And I feel like, because I know he's like villainous, but he's like trying to be a good guy. I think his dark aura is weak or weakening. And I think if you have dark aura, but like you're losing it, that's like a double minus. That's like a double minus dark aura. So I want to put him in dark aura, but it's fading, right? So like I don't know. I might just put him in C tier. He's kind of whack. Okay, Frost, like Bandit, also a badass. Why? She purposely uses bear traps on humans, and I really feel like she's trying to fuck up the leg industry. She hates Olympic sprinters, and I think she deserves B plus for that. Okay, Goyo. In terms of the actual video game, he's not as cool as he was when he was first released. I guess the novelty wore off for me, and I think Ubisoft is probably going to add like extinguisher grenades at some point, which would render him less useful, and it would make the shield meta stronger. So because he's not strong enough to deal with the shield meta in the future, I'm gonna give him a C tier because like he needs to be better to kill shields. Jaegar, the original aura farmer, he really fell from grace, but I think he still manages to put up good numbers in the aura department. So I'm gonna give him A tier for active defense system deployed. I never know if this guy's name is Cade or Kaid. I'm just gonna say Cade. It might be Kaid though. He's got a beret. That's like I said with Alibi. I didn't mention Cav's beret, but he's got a beret, so that's a plus. He's got a really cool watch. Okay, his watch might be cooler than Warden's. And he's got a sword. However, I think his electric gadget is not as cool as Bandit's car batteries. And I feel like most of his kit and personality has nothing of real substance. So I'm going to give him C tier also. Kapkan, I think he really does come off as a raw survivalist. And people literally ban him because they're too stupid to look at a door frame and like see if there's a mine there. And I think that's solid enough to land him at like a B plus probably. Just because it's like people ban him because, I mean, they can't look at a door frame. I mean, just use your eyes. Okay, next up, Athenio. That's coach right there. Um, Lesion, he's got his toothpick, he's got the helmet, he's got his fucking goo. I'm gonna goo. He's the mines, right? I call them needles, but like they're mines. Cuz they're like little like rose thorn, in my head it's like a little like thorn thing from a vine. But it's a goo mine and they get stuck in your foot and if you think you're going to step on one and then like run away, think again cuz you're not going to run. They literally stop you from running. Um if I had nightmares about this game, which I don't, thankfully, but if I did, I would be scared to walk around my own house. Um, because I would be afraid to step on a goo mine. Also Kapkan. I would be afraid to walk around. You know, I would check my door frames, like unlike the player base. But you know, those two characters, man, I'd be a little scared to walk around my house if I had nightmares. So Lesion just gets a clear S. All right, Maestro, you know, he's got a beret. That's a plus. He's got a cigar. That's a plus. I've got the event skin where he's got a cowboy hat, which is pretty cool. And his cameras shoot needles, which is also interesting. But I think they're a little underwhelming, especially when Brava's in the game now. And most of his headgears, they have goggles, okay, which, I mean, that's a minus. Goggles are a minus. At least in his case. I don't think a guy like Maestro needs goggles. So that's definitely unnecessary. And he does seem like a crazy Italian guy. So it's probably going to be like a C plus or a B. I don't know exactly where to put him. He's got LMGs, which are plus aura, especially the one he uses. I do like that one a lot. But for nostalgic purposes, you know, when he first came out, like I did like using his slug shotgun with the drum mag and taking down the entire wall on the gym in Clubhouse. Because then you get like full access of his cameras, and the slug shotgun had so many bullets, you could just take the whole wall down. It was kind of troll. It's like using Tachanka's DP now. You can like remove a whole wall if you really want to. Yeah, back in the day that felt good, so I'm gonna give him B. Okay, Melusi almost invented slowing time with her gadget. You know, not exactly, but it was close enough. And she has the MP5, which is cool if you use the Yeti skin on it. So yeah, that's a B. Okay, Mira definitely has dark aura. She feels like if all of the defensive operators had a Royal Rumble style fight, that she would have really good odds to be the victor of that battle. And she also has the ability to just put a window in any room at any moment. And that's, you know, that's vision. So I'm gonna give that an A plus. Oh wait, I don't even have A plus yet. I gotta make A plus. Okay, Mira's an A plus. She's also the only operator where I just slightly adjusted the photo so that you could see her arms, because I really think that when she gives you the full picture like that with that pose, it goes hard. So she gets A plus. It's my former main. Okay, Mozzie's up next. Caught a drone direct. He's an Australian guy. He's a pizza guy. He's got golden retriever vibes. I think that's a B plus. I don't really want to go into too much detail on Mozzie because, like, you know, it's fine. But for sure, golden retriever vibes and B plus. Okay, Mute, S tier. He undeniably has some serious motion. I don't even think I need to explain it. So just feel free to research on your own if you need to know. Otherwise, take my word for it. He's S tier. S tier aura. Oryx, he's fucking jacked. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. His biceps are huge, dude. This guy's ripped. I like that when I play Oryx, I can be a purple robot. I can be a red robot. However, he can only run in a straight line, and I don't think it's really that far. So it's only a straight line, and he busts up walls. And in my mind, like, he's not really as cool as the Kool-Aid Man, who's like, you know, at least the Kool-Aid Man is at least trying to share his delicious drink. Oryx is, he's a little aged in the face, so like that's kind of creepy, right? Is some random old guy from Jordan. So like what exactly is some creepy old guy from Jordan trying to share with me when he breaks down the walls in my house? I'm not really vibing with that. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have to put that in F tier. Um, so next up is Pulse. All right. Pulse is low-key a bitch, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, his obsession with the heartbeat, some bitch-made shit. But I do feel like every Spec Ops team needs a bald guy with glasses. I just wish that Pulse had more ice in his veins, but every team needs a bald guy with glasses, so C tier. Um, Next up is Rook. Rook, I feel like Rook carries the logs, Rook carries the boats, and he also carries armor plates for 5, okay? I feel like Rook has immense aura, even though his gadget is like not actually that useful. Because like how often are you actually getting revived off of the vest? I really don't think it's that often. I'm not even sure if it makes you have more health now, like it used to. In reality though, like I do still feel like he's a super supportive element to the team, which is one of his biggest strengths. Because even though his gadget is not that good, he spreads self-confidence throughout his entire team. Because they're like, oh yeah, I got a Rook vest, like it makes them feel protected, and I think that's a positive boost to the team. So I'm gonna give Rook a B plus. Okay, Sentry is D tier. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it feels bad. Like, I wish Sentry was cooler. Um, the outfit is really cool. I like the helmet, the mask, the goggles, the vest. Like, everything about the outfit is cool. But I just feel like it's kind of a useless operator on the defense. And, at least at least they look good while they're playing defense, though. You know what I mean? Like, at least they play the rounds in a distinguished manner. So I'm going to give it D tier for distinguished. Okay, Skopos. Now we got to have a small talk about Skopos, man. So not only can you teleport across the map, right? Your footsteps are loud as fuck, right? One, you shouldn't be able to teleport. Two, your footsteps are super loud because they're robotic. Three, you're not even, like the person in the wheelchair is not actually in the server, which I think is whack, right? I mean, you have two completely functional government robots, but you couldn't get the clearance for new legs, like new robotic cyborg legs. That seems like a big waste of money and personal agency to be able to like move around freely without limitations. And her gun looks like an auto rifle from Destiny, which is the wrong game. That's not the game we're playing here. And yeah, that's D tier. I mean, that's just D tier. She still costs 25,000 renown in this economy. I mean, I'm ripping 2 event packs for sure over buying this character. Okay, next up is Smoke.
What's in the canister?
I feel like Smoke is on par with Mute. I like the dual energy they give off, being from the same organization. But on his own, he's probably slightly less than Mute, even though he's a stronger round closer. And I mean that in a good way, like, round closing as in, like, he's super clutch, he's area denial. That definitely affects his aura level. So I'm going to have to give him an A+, just below Mute. Okay, Solis. Solis dresses like one of the shitty editions of the Flash before he's like fully established as a hero. Um, I feel like her gadget, you know, they already nerfed her like pre-round, right? Or like during the drone phase, she's already nerfed. And I feel like her gadget doesn't last long enough to be able to really like scan the environment. I don't really like playing vert with her. I think that's like that should not be part of her kit is that she plays vert from underneath to like find the diffuser. Yeah, everything about this character is trash. I'm gonna go C for reminds me of what the CW verse could have been. Okay, Tachanka is up next. Tachanka has Aura Lord status. Okay, yeah, Tachanka definitely Aura Lord. They may have taken his turret kingdom, but the DP remains and Shumika's reign.
LMG mounted and loaded.
Okay, Thorn is genuinely cool. She's got one of the funnest guns to use, and I think her gadget requires rethinking how the environment works in the game, which when you use it round by round is constantly refreshing. She's not really that good of an operator, but like it's constantly refreshing to play her, um, even though it's probably not like super meta. So I'm just gonna go like B, I think. Okay, Thunderbird. Hot take. Thunderbird is S tier. Alright? Thunderbird is S tier. She has better healing than Doc. Um, when you're fighting the enemies and you peek them, the first thing they're gonna see is your goofy ass helmet that's super large. And honestly, she's so much fun to play on for like site setups, right? She's got the bulletproof shield, she's got the shotgun, she's got the bullpup gun that Finka has. Her kit is pretty good. And then you place these little machines down on the floor that shoot out gumballs for your team, and they heal them, right? So I love her in the basement on Oregon, and I love giving my teammates gumballs the whole round, and she's goated. Um, how goated though? How goated? I think she's better than Lesion, but like I said, mute is undeniable, right? Did I say that? Did I say mute is undeniable? Yes, I did. Okay. So yeah. Up next, Tubarao. All right. Now, people might think like, yo, Tubarao, you know, he's got the DMR, like he can stop the main breaches, you know, and help out your bandit so he can bandit trick and all that. Nah, bro, fuck Tubarao. All right. Every Tubarao player just goes for spawn peaks. They never play on the main breach. I'm also not here to make Ice Age Mr. Freeze jokes. When this guy's fucking wearing a scuba suit, okay? Put some fucking clothes on, you bozo. F tier. Okay, Valkyrie. I don't know what she's doing with those cameras in my house or her house, but I'm invested, okay? And she's also the only Deagle on defense, which is just a pretty sick sidearm. I think Valkyrie is B plus unless you're using the mission blacksmith headgear, then it's S. Okay, that's how it should be. All right. Now Vigil, another hot take. I know people like Vigil. You know, you watch Vigil hype videos and he's like, nobody sees me coming, which is cool. You know, it's funny. It's good for a laugh. But he literally might be the easiest character to find in the game because he tells every drone what room he's in. And like even when he has it on, like you can still see it like digitize him, so you still know exactly where he is. Um, yeah, he's kind of buns, man. I'm gonna give him C tier. Okay, Wamai. Now, you might be like, oh, you put Tubarao in F tier for having a scuba suit on, and Wamai has a scuba suit. Yo, Wamai gets B tier, okay? He's got a cooler gadget. It fucking it's like, you know, he was there for us when Jaegar fell, okay? He was there for us when Jaegar was banned. All right? He's got a magnetized little fucking circle disc that grabs grenades and uh, ace Selma charges out of the fucking sky. And you know, he gets the pass on the scuba suit. One, because I think it's probably better for his location in the world where he operates. He's from Kenya. Tubarao's from Portugal. So like Kenya, I just imagined you're coming up through the watering hole of like the savannah, okay, and then you're just taking out terrorists. So one, it's more lore accurate. Two, um, welcome back Chadwick Boseman. All right, Wakanda forever. Okay, and the Warden. Warden, I'm just gonna say is an A plus. Like he's so hard. He looks like a Chicago police guy, detective. His hair looks good. The mustache looks good. The glasses look good. The tie looks good. The gloves, the watch, the suit, everything looks good about this guy. His aura is so. It's very powerful. Okay, and not only is it powerful, he wields it perfectly. Okay, and you can see that with his sprinting techniques. All right, now as long as this guy and Frost are on the same side, he will always be able to sprint like that. Like I said, A plus. All right. Okay, this is the full tier list. Is there anything like worth changing? Um, okay, I feel like we have a lot of C's. I think everything else is like pretty well done. We do have a lot of C's. I don't really want anyone else to go to C plus. I was going to raise Castle, okay? Now the reason I was gonna raise Castle was no, but the problem is it looks pretty full. It looks pretty full. The B plus tier, like I don't think he can crack into that. The only reason I was gonna raise Castle just a little bit is like he's probably really good at making pillow forts. But I think he's probably appropriately placed in C plus. We might have to move some people down to D tier. Maybe Solis reminds me of the CW verse, but like she's probably D tier. Vigil's probably D tier. Echo's kind of not great either. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Maybe something like this is better. But yeah, that's the tier list. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see that attacker tier list in the next few days. And that's the video.